but they're very close. But the mixed messaging is what I was talking about, and it's definitely confusing the players. And honestly, there's some disagreements within the locker room, it sounds like. Kenny Moore, one of their stars on the defensive side of the ball, had comments that was kind of questioning if everyone was fully giving their best for this Colts team during this situation. So let's play that.
Everybody is working as hard as possible, and obviously it's showing. I'm not the type to sugarcoat it, honestly. If I don't think the urgency is there. I don't think the details are there, so I don't think the effort is there, and I don't see everything correlating from meetings to practice to the games, and it shows.
As one of the leaders of the team, what do you do to kind of get things sparked for everybody?
You got to define yourself. You got to define the identity of the team. We got to look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves how bad we want it. And honestly, just change. Turn in the page whenever we look at the corrections and everything tomorrow. And I think the thing that's back to your question, the thing that's frustrating is you letting things leak into another week. Whatever it was last week, you're as great as your last performance. But once we step out on the field again, you got the opportunity to, change that narrative. So, but to go out and, do the same mistakes over and over is, I think that's what drives me insane as a player. Individually, that's what drives me insane because, at the beginning of the season, we all said that, week one is going to be week one. September is going to be September, but we got to do our best to be better as the season progresses. And we are in November, and I just don't see us making that jump, from September to November. I'm seeing the same thing. So I think a lot of things we just got to start addressing it and not sugarcoat or beat around the bush. I think that's what we are lacking, and honestly, it's just year to year, it's the same thing.
Year to year, the same thing. Kenny Moore's been there now.
Yeah.
In Indianapolis. And now Shane Steichen, this was finishing year 2.
Yeah.
And Shane Steichen was brought in when they drafted Anthony Richardson. So that was going to be the pair there. The crazy thing, I just mentioned to you guys that one of those teams, the Bengals, Dolphins, Broncos, who hold the last playoff spot, Colts, are going to have a chance. Fellas, when I tell you what the rest of the schedule is for the Colts, they got the Jets. They got the Patriots. They got the Titans, the Giants, and the Jaguars. 2 games where it's going to be tough. They play the Broncos in Denver, and they have to play the Lions. If they win those games that I mentioned before, they're 9-8. That very well is going to get the Colts into the playoffs, but it's a dysfunction. And I don't know if you have that much dysfunction as a team, if you're going to have success. And one more clip we're going to show you and we'll react. Chuck Pagano then talked about it. And again, he used to be the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Well, he says they got to be able to have a, come-to moment here. And guys need to start thinking about the team instead of thinking about themselves first.
I mean, the 3 things that Aaron added is 4th, right?
Yeah, being a team.
How frickin' easy is it? All it is a choice. Wake the frick up
early
and decide, okay, I'm going to be on time. Was that it, right? Be on time.
Early on.
No excuses.
No excuses, right?
Team first.
Put the team first. What did we have in the team room when I was there, right? We had
Hustle,
2 things.
loyalty, respect.
And the other time was what? Team.
You can't see me.
Yeah. It was trust, loyalty, respect.
It was all about the team, right?
Yes.
And it was us. Unity over self.
Big team, little me.
That's what us stood for. Was unity over self. So take the ego out of it. Take all the BS out of it. Get all the distractions out of your life. Whatever you got going on. You mentioned like Peyton Manning. These guys. He had a family. He had a wife. He had kids. But they knew. Like when I come home, all right, you guys go to that side of the house. I'm going to this side of the house, and I need 2 hours.
One of the main reasons why I retired is because there's only 32 punters in the NFL, and if you're going to be in the NFL, you should pay attention to it, as opposed to everything else that I wanted to have going on. I didn't think that I was giving enough respect to the position.
I think the bigger thing that I took away was it's the unity. It's about even when you get to the certain level as professionals and you're trying to get yours. What I mean by that is, look, their career, they get injured tomorrow, they lose that value. How many times have we seen that so far where a player has played well and then all of a sudden that contract that would set him and his family up for the future, it's done. But at the same point, you were trying to go out there to win championships, to chase a greater purpose. And that's where the jobs for the coaches, their jobs are on the line. If they don't win, they're gone. In this case for the Colts, though, what you're hearing with players, they just don't seem together. This is a team that when you look at it, like they got some solid pieces on the defensive side of the ball. Specifically, their defensive line is actually very, very solid now that they're healthy.
Yeah.
They have good offensive players. Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr. is hurt right now. Jonathan Taylor is one of the best backs in the league. Their offensive line is solid. Anthony Richardson's going to take time. I think everyone has to understand that. But if you don't have the continuity and the respect to focus, Pat said focus at the end of it. And guys, you guys know with my career of playing, I even told Jamie this when I played. And I was just even trying to make it. And we'd have sometimes disagreements on things because I said, hey, I have to be dedicated to what I'm doing. And if I'm not, I'm doing my job a disservice and I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
That's what Pat was trying to say at the end of it. If you're not fully in with it, you're not going to get the results that you want. I don't care how talented you are. And right now it seems like the Colts are having a lot of what if question marks with their ball club. Something's got to give with these two teams coming up, though. Colts and Jets play this week. And they both have been
bad.
The Jets have been the biggest disaster. But Colts right now, you still got a chance. But it starts this week.
I personally don't think they have a chance. And that's just because I think the Broncos are just a much better team. Like when we look at the standings, it's KC, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Houston, Baltimore, Chargers, Denver. And if I'm going to choose a team that makes that last spot, I just think that Denver's going to have a better opportunity to make the playoffs than the Colts will.
Right now, I mean, they are
They're just a better team.
They've
lost 2 in a row, but they're a better team.
Yeah, they got boat raced by the Ravens, but then we're a blocked field goal away from beating the Chiefs out there in Kansas City.
Right.
The Broncos also, you can love or hate Sean Payton. There is a structure there where they are going to be competitive and compete. Right now with the Colts, it's very up and down.
I love that we're seeing some bad coaching, but some of these good coaches that had success on other teams and other organizations are now turning around some of these quote unquote bad organizations. I mean, the way that Sean Payton's turned around the Broncos, and the way that Jim Harbaugh is turning around the Chargers, it's unbelievable to see how they can just continue to do it over and over and over again, no matter where they go.
Doesn't matter. The constant thing are those two guys, but specifically we'll talk Chargers and Jim Harbaugh. Dude, the Harbaughs in the same conference is going to be a problem for a while. For as long as John stays the coach of the Baltimore Ravens, Jim's going to be there until he doesn't want to be there anymore.